Hello and welcome back to the program. Today we are continuing my playthrough of the hand-drawn point-and-click adventure mystery game Foolish Mortals. I really like the first part of this, the prologue, so we are going to continue in part 1. We have been tasked by the witch doctor to find ingredients to combine in a spell that will raise the dead of Bellemore Manor so that we can learn where the hidden treasure is. So without any further ado, let's continue with Foolish Mortals. Okay, so here we are still back at the Spirit Queen. We've got our Grigri up here. Have we looked at this yet?
It was a manuscript that looked hundreds of years old, with the instructions to a spell that summoned things hidden within.
So this is what we're looking for. Chalk, black feathers, gunpowder, silver coin, rum, bone fragment, and coffin nails. We've got 3 new locations. I'm not sure which is which. Let's just try this one up here. Baxter's Mill.
Cluck, cluck, buck, 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 cluck. I tried to persuade the chicken to come outside, but clearly I was out of cluck.
Lame.
The wood was old and rotting. It wasn't going to be of any use. And who knew what critters might have made their homes inside the pile? The inside of the lumber mill smelled like sawdust and grease. Judging from the overgrown weeds, it clearly hadn't been used in a long time, and yet the lights remained on.
Auger?
I picked up the auger from the tool shelf. The beam looked to be driven by the water wheel outside. For the multitude of wires fanning out from the top, it was presumably hooked up to a generator. I looked over the machine, but I couldn't find a way to turn it on, if it even still worked. The hatches were locked. From their shape, I deduced they were for storing lumber, and I wasn't in need of any 2x4s.
Already looked at
Beam
that.
looked to be driven. The electrical safety of the panel looked questionable. I wasn't going to touch it.
Why don't you stick a fork in it?
I tried the door, but it was locked.
Can I use the auger on the door, maybe?
That wasn't going to work.
How dare you?
Despite its obvious age, the water wheel was still turning. I couldn't get near it, and that was probably a good thing if I didn't want to get dragged under by the current.
Alright, I don't have any particular ideas. So let's try this area. Ah, the old church. I feel like we can find a bone fragment here. And also maybe coffin nails. Okay, we can go in the cemetery, but let's look in the window.
The inside of the church was silent and still.
Of course.
The church door was locked.
Hey, bro. Can I talk to him? Yeah, there we go.
Hello?
Yeah! God darn it! Don't sneak up on people like that! You frighten the dying daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry, you seem a little jumpy.
I thought you were that pesky little girl again.
A little girl? That doesn't seem like a reason to be scared.
She's a terror! One of these days she's gonna give me a heart attack. Last week, she showed up with a doctor's note she'd forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him back up, at my age.
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo.
Well, he's
Just
dead.
like that little
Dead
girl
now.
will be if I get my hands on her. Yeah, who are you anyway?
My name's Murphy McCallan. I've just arrived on the island.
Well, welcome, Mr. Murphy. I'm Edgar Kettle. Gravedigger, undertaker, coffin maker, and anything else that needs doing to keep this cemetery running.
Did you make this coffin?
Did you make this coffin?
I sure did. But this is no more than a pauper's coffin by anyone's standards. The finest the parish pension can buy. Lock them in lumber, leave them to slumber, that's what I say. This'll end up 5 feet under by the end of the night.
I thought it was supposed to be 6 feet.
Yeah.
You're not the one doing the digging. 5 feet means I get a tea break.
Okay.
Was the little girl named Mallory Wisp by any chance?
That's her. The peril in a pinafore. She got the whole town thinking I was burying people prematurely. I walked past the school the other day, and they'd made up a jump rope chant about me.
Oh, no.
Oh, what was the chant the school children made up about you?
Edgar, Edgar, crazy feller, just be careful, he don't get you. How many bodies did he strive to bury while they're still alive?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I wasn't looking for audience participation.
Sorry, I got carried away. Just like you with the burying.
Oh, my God.
Have you ever accidentally buried someone who was still alive?
Has someone been making accusations again?
No, just making conversation.
Well, not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help, desperate shaking of the coffin.
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
You know, they actually, I've heard of graves or mausoleums constructed that had like bells on the outside of them that were connected to a string that they would put in the the corpse's hand in case they were alive. Then they could ring the bell and you would like know that they were still alive in there. What's this?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hopefully not the guy in the coffin.
Not funny.
Have you got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't have any to spare.
Well,
Got a backlog of bodies begging for burial.
you do?
Does the parish increase my funding? Nope. The roof's leaking. My table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. Undertaking is a dying business.
I feel like that it's only a coffin nail after it's been put in a coffin. Otherwise, it's just a nail. What kind of question is this?
Do you think I could fit inside the coffin?
Probably not. The gentleman inside might make it a bit of a squeeze.
You mean there's a dead guy inside there?
There better be. I can't afford to be burying empty coffins.
I'm looking for the treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Oh, a treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something, young man. Don't even think about digging up my graveyard. There's no treasure buried here, and I'm already busy enough filling in the holes that are supposed to be here.
He's already like taken all the expensive jewelry off the bodies.
Do you know anything about the disappearance at Bellemore Manor?
I think it's important to let the dead rest in peace.
But what if they're not in peace?
Well, you got me there. Listen, I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. You know the three brothers went missing, right? Well, if you ask me, I think Abigail Bellemore was behind it.
Maybe.
She was engaged to a sailor, but nobody like her would go for a commoner.
She might have loved him.
She could have loved somebody with a big bank account, too. I think she must have been using him, pretending to love him so he'd do her dirty work for her, bumping off her brothers.
Interesting
And
theory.
afterwards, she drops him and goes to marry the officer of the company. Fiendish.
Do you have any proof?
Yeah, just a feeling, that's all. But when you work with cadavers, you kinda get a sixth sense about things.
What do you think was behind the disappearance?
Well, the sailor must have found out he was being manipulated, right? Done something to get his revenge.
Maybe.
What do you think he did?
Nobody knows. He could have been working his way through those bodies like a madman. All we know is that everyone in that house disappeared. To tell you the truth, I'm quite relieved they did.
Why's that?
Because if they hadn't disappeared, it would have been this old fool who had to bury him. Saved me a lot of work.
I best be running along.
Don't drop dead. I don't want anything else on my to-do list.
The tin was full of nothing but holes. I didn't need to warm my hands on the stove. It was already a humid night, and the fire was more useful at keeping bugs away from the shack than keeping anyone toasty.
Can I use the bellows on the stove?
The stove was already burning brightly.
Okay. I'm just going to take the jack that's holding the table up.
A mischievous idea began to form in my mind. Hey, I think the guy inside here might still be alive.
And why would you think something like that?
The coffin was just shaking around. Maybe you should open it up.
Well, I didn't see it move.
The gravedigger had me in a conundrum. I could hardly start shaking it right in front of his eyes.
And unless the body inside starts jiggling around, I'm not opening up that coffin.
What have I got here that might help?
I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for. I scanned the
A crypt.
I couldn't see any way to open the crypt door. Not a doorknob, not a keyhole. Whoever sealed this up intended to seal it up for good.
All right, well, I need something
Hurry
else.
up with the barrels, Morris. We gotta get these unloaded before anyone sees us.
Are you sure this is a good idea, Musket? I don't think we should be using a church as our hiding place.
You're not being paid to think, Morris.
What are they
You carry those
hiding,
barrels
moonshine?
in here and let me worry about the theological implications. This place has been abandoned for decades. There's nobody around.
Nobody living, maybe. What if there's ghosts, boss?
Darn it, Morris. If brains was dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. Now get unloading. And keep an eye out for anyone snooping around.
What if someone catches us?
If anyone asks, we're the new clergy. We tell them these barrels are full of communion wine.
I
Yeah,
thought
that's
we was
it.
rum runners, not wine runners, boss.
Communion rum, then.
Oh, the rum. We need rum.
Ah, gotcha.
Remember, St. Juniper's Church is a place to get closer to God. And if anyone questions our alibi, we make sure that happens.
The pair of rum runners looked like the human personifications of the dish and the spoon from Hey Diddle Diddle. The gangly spoon bossing around the rotund dish as it carried barrels effortlessly from the jalopy and into the church. As it turned out, nursery rhyme characters become a lot more intimidating once they have revolvers. see the shadows of the rum runners moving around inside the church, but I didn't want to get too close in case they saw me too.
Can I steal a barrel?
The barrels were far too heavy for me to lift, though that gorilla of a rum runner had been picking them up like they were cotton balls. The jalopy door was locked. How ironic that the rum runners would take care not to be the target of criminality.
Like, I could use the awl, or the auger, to drill a hole in the barrels. But then what would I put the rum in?
Using the auger, I drilled a small hole in the barrel, and out poured rum.
Yeah, I didn't think that through, did I?
I wasn't going to be able to carry rum around in my bare hands, and drinking straight from the barrel felt a little uncouth.
Ah, shit. Did I blow it?
Musket, one of the barrels has sprung a leak.
How many times are you gonna bother me? Put a cork in it, will ya?
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
It's an old fort.
The plaque read, Fort Bellemore, no public access. For further information, please contact the lighthouse keeper.
Hey, it's a kitty.
Here, kitty, kitty. Psst, 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 psst. It was no use. That cat was clearly more entranced
There's
by
the-
shiny things than the stranger outside the gate.
The gunpowder we need.
I jiggled the gate, but it wasn't going to open. If pirates and the colonial powers of Western Europe weren't able to get into the fort uninvited, I wasn't about to either.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago, man. What does the kitty want?
There wasn't anything to do with the lantern. The fish had been dead for years, was primarily comprised of stuffing, and smelled faintly of formaldehyde. The cat wasn't going to be interested in it in the slightest. The coat of arms depicted 4 lions surrounding a central flower, topped by a medieval tower. I couldn't get to the staircase while the gate was locked. I could have tried squeezing my arms through the bars, but I already knew the barrel was too far away to reach. The lighthouse light was off.
Well, the girl's
Peered into
gone.
the tide pools, but all I could see was pebbles, sand, and seaweed.
Oh, hey. Bottle.
As I picked up the bottle, I anticipated what could be inside. A brine-stained treasure map, perhaps, or a scribbled plea from a castaway desperately awaiting rescue. Looking inside, I found it was empty. The
Good.
only writing on it was the embossed glass letters of the Orangello Soda Company.
All right.
The barrels were far too heavy for me to lift. I couldn't do that.
What do you mean?
I needed to think of something else. Nope. The barrels were far... The barrels were...
Do I need something to get the cork? Oh, that's kind of dumb.
I filled the bottle with rum pouring from the barrel. Relief washed over me at the realization that I'd done it without getting caught by the two rum runners.
Oh,
Hey, Musket! There's someone out here!
Or so I thought.
Hey, fella, what do you think you're doing snooping around here? This is our church, you know, and it's closed.
I'm just here to do some praying. Mainly praying that I get out of this situation without a puncture wound.
He's being a wise guy, Musket.
I'm the villain full of lead.
what?
But boss, it's bad luck to bump someone off in a churchyard.
Now, where'd you hear a nonsensical thing like that?
I thought churches was hallowed ground.
We're just
and sin and
making a run for
immorality
it.
would face supernatural punishment in this world or the next.
Where do you get this stuff from? I told you, I do the thinking in this partnership.
The voice acting in this is chef's kiss. I love it. Okay, so I've got the rum. This door is open now.
Oh, my second customer of the night. I don't know if I can handle such a rush. Welcome, young man, to Doubloon's Jewelry. Oh, the riches to fill your breeches. Jewels, silver, gold, the finest things for you to behold. Whom do I have the pleasure of meeting?
My name's Murphy McCallan.
Oh, a pleasure to meet you. My name's Jasper Crumb, owner and proprietor. Are you looking for something valuable while you're here on the island?
Funnily enough, I am.
Is there a special someone in your life? Looking for an apology gift, perhaps? I've sold more missed anniversary necklaces and drunken fumble earrings than I can count.
No, I don't need anything like that.
Then how about something for yourself? You look like a working man. Could I interest you in a pocket watch?
Actually, I had one up until about an hour ago. Traded it to a glowing green guy for a magic pouch. As the words left my lips, I realized I sounded like a character from Jack and the Beanstalk.
Pardon me?
I'm just here to browse.
Browse away, young man. I'll be here if you need me.
I inspected the carving. Its woodworm-dotted surface and water-stained edges suggested it had once been much more than a decorative piece in a jewelry store.
What does that mean? I wonder if we need the goldfish to do something with the cat.
There was no way I could carry a fishbowl full of water and a live goldfish around with me. The cabinet was filled with used jewelry. Rings, brooches, necklaces, and more. Even secondhand, I would have had to save for years to afford any of them. The cabinet was filled with precious jewels, geodes, and fossils next to a small sign that read, Treasures of the Earth. The cabinet proudly displayed all manner of gold and silver creations, watches, necklaces, pendants, and more, all made in-house by the jeweler. Even if I could reach it, it was probably better for the jeweler to operate equipment like that.
What is it? A polisher?
Robbing a jewelry store really wasn't my style.
Oh, come on.
I didn't need the poster. There was no reason to use the microscope without something to magnify.
How about the brooch?
While the microscope was meant for jewelry, I was confident I'd already revealed this brooch's secrets.
Maybe he wants it.
Excuse me, would you be able to polish a brooch for me?
Let me take a look. Oh, well, 18-karat yellow gold, filigree wirework in a handcrafted floral motif, and round, brilliant cut ruby, if I'm not mistaken, made to fit a music box?
That's right. How did you know that?
I know my own handiwork anywhere. Now,
mean
how
he
did
made it?
you get a hold of it?
Oh, just a gift.
What a generous gift indeed. Well, we do offer free polishings on all items purchased here, so I'd be very happy to shine her up for you. Please, bear with me for a moment. There we go, shining like a firefly's rear end. I'm afraid the clasp on the back has broken off. You weren't planning on wearing it soon, were you?
I wasn't planning on wearing it at all.
There's no shame in indulging yourself every once in a while. Lord knows I can appreciate the comfort and empowerment a pair of hosiery can bring.
What?
We don't have any replacement clasps in stock, but I can put it in order. In the meantime, here's a button magnet that should hold it in place, as long as you're not too vigorous with it.
Thank you.
Okay, a button magnet. What do we do with that, I wonder? Now can I look at
While
this?
the microscope was meant for jewelry, I was confident I'd already revealed this brooch's secrets. Good evening, Mr. Crumb.
How can I help you?
How's business tonight?
You're not a millionaire with an enraged fiancé, are you?
I'm not, no.
I didn't think so. Then business tonight is about as lively as a snail drinking decaf. The only other customer I had in here tonight was more interested in the provenance of fossils than the shiny stuff. Booked a private viewing, and then didn't buy anything. Can you believe it? The first time in weeks this shop gets a private viewing, and all they're interested in is bones.
Bones?
You sell fossils, too?
I sell all the treasures of the earth. If it's under the ground and I can sell it, I'm interested.
I hear Burke and Hare had the same philosophy.
Burke and Hare were famous grave robbers.
What are you selling?
We specialize in jewelry and precious stones. Rings, necklaces, earrings, and brooches in this cabinet to my left. Gems, geodes, and fossils in this cabinet to my right. You'd be surprised at how much of an impact some stones can make. My family can tell you that. We also offer a free polishing service on all purchases from the shop. Just bring it in and we'll shine it up for you. Our little thank you to our loyal customers.
How do you know what jewelry was purchased here?
I handcraft everything this shop sells. I have an encyclopedic knowledge of our wares, Mr. McCallan, going back decades.
What's the most valuable thing in here?
I suppose that depends on how you value things, doesn't it?
In dollars and cents?
Yes, I used to value things that way. But a lack of business has a way of making you more philosophical about these things. Now I'd say the most valuable thing here is Granny.
Granny? Your grandmother is in here?
That's right. In the fishbowl. Granny is my goldfish.
You named your goldfish Granny?
Yes, it was the most wondrous thing. The same day my grandmother Bethesda died, I was out at the local fun fair, and I won this goldfish on the ring toss. When we got home, every time we mentioned Bethesda, that little fish jumped out of the water and back on in.
Seems like it
We think Granny's passed on into that fish.
jumps out of the
What do
water a
you
lot.
think?
I mean this with no disrespect, but I think that's the craziest thing I've come across tonight, and I had a ghost bride trying to kill me.
We all have our quirks.
But don't goldfish only live for a few years? If she was your grandmother, she must have died sometime around the middle of the last century.
Oh, yes, that's right. Each time the goldfish dies, Granny's spirit hops into a new fish. We must be on Granny number 44 by now.
Cuckoo.
What's the carving on the front of your counter?
That is the genuine stern carving of the golden goose, the famous brigantine. I could trace my family's history on the island back hundreds of years, right back to the ship's owner, Captain Bartholomew Crumb. You've heard of him, I expect.
Captain Crumb, the vicious pirate? I read about him as a child.
One of the most successful in the Caribbean. That is, until, as the story goes, he got pursued by a ghost ship.
I'm looking for lost treasure.
I'd say you found it. Everything inside these four walls is a treasure, handmade to the finest quality.
I mean a specific treasure. The lost treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Well, if you find it, bring it in here for an appraisal. I'll give you a good price for it. But that's a pretty big if, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
A ghost ship? Surely that can't be more than a legend.
Then how do you explain this? Without a single shot fired, every sailor aboard his ship fell down dead, victims of an evil pirate who wielded a black stone. Captain Crumb was the sole survivor. He escaped undetected in a rowboat, and after days at sea, made it to this very island. After that, he never went to sea again. Instead, he set up this shop with the one chest of jewels he'd managed to carry away. Some of the gems you see around here still date back to that final hoard.
A black stone killed the crew?
Well, so the story goes. I suppose it explains my family's obsession. Not just the gold and jewels that tempt us, but the wicked stones that threaten us.
Learn about pirates. That's an achievement. Captain Crumb.
Why did Captain Crumb come to Devil's Rock to set up his store?
This was his home port. Devil's Rock used to be quite the lawless island. Legend goes he used to hide his treasure along the southeastern coastline. The island is dotted with caves. Plenty of places to hide the loot.
What do you know about Bellemore Manor?
Oh, it's a tragedy what went on there. But I know what I think. Black magic.
Black magic?
That's right. While some of us make an honest living around these parts, there are others who are lured in by the darker depths of the sea.
Who do you think that was?
Well, it's simple, isn't it? Abigail used to stop by here all the time, taking a gander at the rings and the necklaces. She was a lovely young girl who always saw the best in people. And Mr. Rackham, he was a model for how to run a good business. Honest and decisive. Now, that only leaves one person, doesn't it?
The sailor?
Exactly. I'd heard rumors about black magic going on inside Bellemore Manor. I think he was casting his spell on Abigail, making her fall in love with him. Why else would someone as rich as her want to marry someone like him? He certainly couldn't afford the rings and necklaces that caught her eye. I think, come the night of the wedding, she wised up. That's why she decided to marry Mr. Rackham after all. A much more responsible choice for the company.
I think I'll just look around for now.
I'm here if you need me.
Plot thickens. I'm out of ideas for this place, so...
What a nice young man. Isn't he, Granny? I couldn't have put it better myself.
What the... Where's the two fish? The store's open now. Hold on, let me see if that one guy is still there. He is. Let's see if he has something else to say.
The stories about Bellemore Manor are true. I saw the ghost bride inside the house.
Blast it, Murphy. Don't say I didn't warn you. This island has had its fair share of the macabre. The best way to deal with it is to leave well enough alone. Why are you searching for that treasure anyway?
Well, it's my job. The state's claim on that money runs out at 8 a.m.
And it's treasure.
I'm supposed to find it.
You seem pretty passionate about something that's just for work. What are the odds you draw an assignment like that?
Well, I might have made my own luck there. They wouldn't normally authorize an investigation so close to the statute of limitations running out, especially on a 30-year-old cold case. But thrust a stack of forms in front of the boss 5 minutes before clocking off on a Friday afternoon, and he doesn't care what he's signing.
Let's just hope he wasn't signing your death warrant.
Most of my investigations don't amount to more than counting paper clips in a municipal building or going cross-eyed over receipt rolls in a courthouse. When I found that old case folder tucked behind the filing cabinet, its only lead, a water-stained magazine, talking about a real-life haunted house, how could I pass it up? You didn't tell me the Spirit Queen was a riverboat.
Oh, sure. That thing's been moored up in the bayou with her keel kissing the mud for years. Which doctor lives aboard her now? Claims to sell all manner of hoodoo and voodoo. But to believe that, you need to be dumber than the bachelor in New Orleans, throwing beads at the Sisters of Mercy.
I spoke with Dr. Moray. He thinks we can make contact with the ghosts.
Moray is a charlatan and a fool. Only got into hoodoo and voodoo a few years ago. Before that, he was an actor over at the Calliope Theater, and not a very good one. He's the only person I know who directed and starred in a one-person production of The Pirates of Penzance. And that's because all the rest of the cast dropped out rather than work with him.
He's always been searching for respect and recognition. Who would have known he found it by living in the swamp and reeking of incense?
Don't you believe in voodoo?
I certainly do. I just don't think Moray's got any more control of it than the rooster has control of the sunrise. His understanding of voodoo amounts to whatever he's gleaned from one of those horror pictures Ventura Studios puts out at the movie palace. My mama used to know all about it. God rest her soul. Voodoo isn't some made-up Hollywood magic, Mac. Voodoo's a real religion. It's about community, about belonging, and about searching for something more than flesh and blood. It's not the snake oil he peddles.
He did seem like he was more of a showman than an actual practitioner of voodoo.
What do you think happened at Bellemore Manor?
Now there's a tale I don't like to tell.
Can I persuade you to tell it anyway?
I have a feeling I ain't gonna get any rest until I do. You know about Miss Bellemore, the bride, engaged to the sailor? Nah, the way I hear, Mr. Rackham was over the moon with her. Such an upstanding fella. I won't have a bad word said against him. Now he realized that the sailor was going through terrible lengths to ensnare his bride, and Mr. Rackham tried to save her. I heard that the sailor caught on to this and tricked Rackham into giving the lady a gift. That's what made everything go topsy-turvy.
What was the gift?
There are places in the Caribbean that trade things more elusive than gold. Ungodly things.
Do you think the disappearance was caused by voodoo?
And that's what my mama used to say. If you're not careful, that stuff can go to your head.
Why won't you hear a word against Mr. Rackham?
He gave me my first work on this island, right here on these docks. And I'm still here to this day. He may have worn a scowl, but you don't judge a banana by its peel with people like him, Mac. When I looked into his eyes, all I saw was ambition.
What work did you do?
Loading and unloading the ships that came in. Of course, they just don't do that anymore. Dead Nettle's a forgotten town. Maybe that's for the best.
No luck fishing?
Not a bite, Mac. The Pencosa fish just ain't snapping for me today. Shame, too, because I'm planning on firing up my grill later. And then a tastiest catch in these waters.
How do you catch a Pencosa fish?
With hours of patience and decades of practice. You ever wrestled a rod before?
Just the once. I went fishing on Lake Erie, but the only thing I caught was a cold. What do you do with the fish you catch?
A couple I save for myself, and the rest I sell to the captain's club. They fancy them up with lemon lobsters, slawfish, something or other. But everyone knows the best way to cook them is to grill them.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
Hey,
take a
Ned,
sec.
do you mind if I borrow your knife?
If you need it, Mac, just bring it back to me later tonight, would you? If I'm lucky with my catch, I'll be firing up the grill. You're invited to join me, of course.
All right, cool. I don't know what I need the knife for yet, but...
Murphy McCallan, so you're still here. What have you been up to? Anything newsworthy?
That's none of your business. Don't think I've forgotten your trick with the telegram.
Hey, it's nothing personal. Your business is my business, and my business is news. I'm Evelyn Stoker, editor of the Juniper Parish Gazette. No misdeed left unshared, no drama left unmonetized. Come on, work with me here, McCallan. I need something juicy. Committed any crimes? Uncovered any affairs? Any deep, personal secrets to reveal?
The honest-to-God truth? No.
I need a good story. I can't let something minor like the truth stand in the way of that.
I picked up the twine. With her stunt at the bayou, I figured she owed me one.
But the scissors.
I picked up the scissors. Maybe she owed me two.
I'm amassing quite a nice inventory here.
Don't even think about it. The spring on that printing press looks like it's going to blow at any moment.
I didn't want to get ink all over me trying to carry the canister around. There was no way I was going to get past the newspaper editor to get it. Besides, I didn't know how to operate it.
Yes?
Hi. What are you working on?
One of the most romantic articles this newspaper's ever seen. Francois Fogg, Dead Nettle's local pharmacist, is reuniting with his long-lost love after 14 years apart, thanks to this newspaper's personal ads column.
What a lovely story.
That's right. She mailed in a letter she wanted printed. Her former sweetheart saw it, and now they're on track to see each other again. Eventually.
Eventually?
Well, that's a bit of an administrative issue. In the letter we received, she told him to meet her in her Texas hometown of Magnolia. Due to a tiny typesetting error, he's now on a 6-week voyage to Mongolia. But doesn't it warm your heart how far people will go for love?
Fools. I went a long ways for love once. Didn't work out.
Don't you have more interesting stories to write about?
The crackpots this island calls a population wouldn't know something interesting if they paid for it. Which they hardly do. Believe me, I've tried to get juicier stories. Scouring the island, doorstop interviews, hiding under windows.
You eavesdrop on people through their windows?
It's called investigative reporting.
I'm doing some research on the treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Have you found it?
Well, no, not yet. I've just started looking.
Then don't waste my time. Come back when you've got the goods.
You might not believe this, but I saw a ghost inside Bellemore Manor.
You know what? You're right, McCallan. I don't believe it. Really? You've been on this island how long? And you're already starting to sound as loopy as a local.
Have you ever written an article on the disappearance at Bellemore Manor?
What a waste of column inches. Leave it. That's my advice. There's no story in it.
No story?
Not one that anyone would believe. And I've got advertisers breathing down my neck.
What do you think went on?
Practically everyone on this island thinks there was some kind of sorcery involved. No one is looking at the reality. If I write up my research, no one on the island will believe me. If I write their wackadoodle theories, I'll be laughed out of the industry.
Her voice acting's very, like 1940s femme fatale kind of feel.
You can tell me what you've uncovered about Bellemore Manor. Trust me, at this point, few things would surprise me.
I heard the Bellemore Trading Company was losing revenue. Its profits eaten up by who knows what ventures those brothers had going on. I've seen the records. The company was privately owned, sure, but when you've got pressure building and the sharks are circling, you've got to shore up your defenses. I think that's why the Bellemores persuaded Abigail to marry John Rackham.
Marry someone she didn't love?
But he didn't love her either. He was just after the company, so he hires the sailor to seduce her, convince her there's more to life than Devil's Rock. And as soon as she marries Rackham, they split,
theories.
never to see each other again. He inherits the lot, and she disappears with her lover boy sailor to who knows where.
But why do you think all the guests disappeared?
They bumped them off to cover their tracks. Either one of them could have been sunning it up in Sarasota ever since. But imagine me writing that into a piece of serious journalism.
Did you know Comptroller Grimes?
How could I forget him? The guy was a walking, talking migraine generator.
Surely you shouldn't speak of the dead like that.
Why not? I spoke plenty worse about him when he was alive. Anyway, I'm sure everything happens for a reason. And hopefully that reason is to increase my circulation numbers. Everything's connected, you know. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? I suspect it works for moths, too, because I can never get the damn things out of here. Some people say that if a man breaks wind in Alabama, it can cause a hurricane in Fiji.
I think I shared a train car with that guy on my way here. I think I better be going.
Keep your eyes peeled for a story, McCallan. There are secrets on the island, and it's my job to run advertisements next to them.
Okay, next let's head over to this, whatever this was, the billiards club.
Good evening. He looked past me like I was invisible, as though if he ignored me hard enough, there was a chance I'd disappear. I said good evening?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were talking to me.
There's no one else here.
Wishful thinking on my part. Have you taken a wrong turn, sir?
I'm just having a look around.
Well, make it a quick one, and I shall need to know your name.
Murphy McCallan, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
My name is Felix Greer, maitre d', bartender, and acting manager of the Captain's Club. When Mr. Perkins has the night off.
What is this place?
This, sir, is the Captain's Club, a private members club for current and retired sea and riverboat captains. We are highly exclusive. Are you a captain?
He asked with a smugness
Sure.
that told me he already knew the answer.
I thought not. Then may I
Bird
recommend
cage
the
up there.
swift exit? You'll find a convenient egress to your starboard side. If you like, I can give you a good swift kick in the right direction,
How rude.
sir. And don't feel a need to stop walking until your ankles get soggy.
What makes you think I'm not a captain?
For one thing, you lack the grizzle, the crustiness, the essential R of a captain.
How do I get those?
Years of exposure to saltwater and a sullen, uncooperative crew, I should think. Do you even have a boat?
Actually, I did have one earlier this evening, but an alligator fell on it. Admittedly, it was only 3 inches long.
It isn't the size that matters, sir. It's the motion of the ocean. Tell me,
So they say.
have you ever captained a three-rigger through a tropical typhoon? Have you ever run the rapids of the Mississippi without hitting a single reef? Wind in your sails? Fire in your furnace? Waves beneath your keel?
Have you?
Well, it's a little complicated.
In what way?
I get seasick.
Is there any way to prove I'm a captain?
You might show me your captain's license. As I'm sure you know, the state of Louisiana requires all captains of both river and sea to carry one. But don't try to foist off a fake on me. Last week, we had someone present a license with a photograph distinctly unlike their contemporary appearance. The photograph was clearly of someone a good deal older than them, with more facial hair, and most importantly, one less eye.
So we'll need the camera to take a photo, and then we can print one if we can fix the printing press, maybe?
You know, I quite like being out at sea.
Oh, really, sir?
Bobbing along the ocean waves, up and down, up and down.
Just trying to make them
one
seasick.
of those roller coasters at Lunaland. Up and down and up and down.
If sir would please be quiet. Else I expect there'll be a few waves of something coming out of my mouth any moment.
I'm looking for the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Oh, goody! Another young adventurer seeking fame, fortune, or some combination of the two. Just the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking.
What do you know about the lost treasure?
Do you think you're living in a storybook? Weathered maps, talking parrots, X marks the spot? Grow up, you silly boy. Captaincy is a noble skill that doesn't need to be trivialized with childish tales of lost treasure.
You must have some thoughts on the disappearance.
On moonlit nights, when the waves crash against the rocks, the captains of this club trade yarns about this very mystery. Did you know Abigail Bellemore's fiancé was a sailor who worked on the ships? Some of the old boys here even worked with him. They say he loved her, as true as a captain loves the sea. But she was a temptress, a siren. She scuttled that sailor's heart, consumed by a voodoo premonition that she had to fulfill. More beautiful than a mermaid, and twice as fishy.
What did she do?
After months of engagement, she broke it off and chose to marry an officer of the company instead, on their very wedding day.
Why did she do that?
Rude.
Rumors I've heard are that they discovered something in the Caribbean, something wicked, something that consumed them and drove them to heinous acts. The Bellemore brothers swore their crew to secrecy, and the men were loyal to their word. But the rot in the rope was that sister, Abigail. People say that whatever they discovered took hold of her. With the sailor's broken heart and the officer's resources, she was about to unleash something terrible. Until the disappearance halted her evil plans.
Do you think that's true?
Of course not. It's all nonsense. But the captains do love to outperform each other with such tales on a dull evening.
Achievement echoes from the past. Investigate the Bellemore story.
Ned told me he sells fish to you. What do you serve here?
Captains.
Right, yes. I mean by way of food.
The Captain's Club serves a dazzling array of sea-sourced dishes, from our house special jambalaya to my personal favorite, Devil's Rock Pancoza, pan-seared with lobster slaw and citrus crawfish beer blanc. In all honesty, it's not very popular. Most of the clientele are absolutely sick of seafood by the time they get ashore. Just the sight of it makes them queasy.
What about drinks?
Listen, if you're from the Prohibition Bureau, we've cleared all of that up with Officer Moe. Fines were paid, items changed hands, and now we're clear.
I'm not from any Prohibition Bureau.
Then forget I said anything. The Captain's Club is strictly teetotal, in line with federal law. Now, if certain members wish to bring in their own medicinals, then we're happy to provide the accompanying aids. Ice, tonic, mixers, and the like, but we serve no alcohol on the premises.
Is the club busy tonight?
Well, we haven't opened yet, but if it's like last week, it'll be quite the lively soiree. I could barely keep up.
The members here like to have a good time?
That's right, sir. Both of them. This town sure isn't
Both
what it
of
used to
them?
be.
There's only two?
What's happened to Dead Nettle?
Do you think you've wandered into the Tourist Information Center? I can assure you, you'll never meet a tourism official who dresses with this much panache. Stuart LePew, head of the Devil's Rock Historical Society, looks like a thrift store had a crisis of conscience and threw up on him.
I was just hoping to talk to someone so obviously knowledgeable about the area.
Well, yes, that is true. I am plagued with an encyclopedic knowledge of the locality. My concierge duties require it. I have a spiel.
Felix pushed out his chest like this was his moment in the limelight, his eyelids half closing as he performed before imagined crowds.
Welcome, hardy traveler, to our quaint port town of Dead Nettle. Once this town you see around you was a hub of commerce, a beacon for ships bravely navigating between America, Europe, and the Caribbean. With the unfortunate dissolution of the Bellemore Trading Company, our town has settled into a quieter life, perfect for the sailor ready to hang up their cap. We hope that you enjoy your time in our cozy town and perhaps explore some of the local sites here in Dead Nettle. Well,
Excuse me?
I was expecting applause.
Yeah.
I best be casting off.
Don't feel the need to rush back, sir.
Rude.
I glanced at the ledger on the podium. It was mostly empty, and the words I could see were written in such an unreadable scrawl that looked like a centipede had dipped its legs in ink and skittered across the page. There was nothing in the fountain except a rim of moss and dirt that made it look like a stained toilet.
Ew. Oh, there's an elevator.
You can't go up there. It's for members only. Members only.
Jeez. All right, well, I have an idea. These guys are still here. All right, so what if
The twine would be more useful to me intact.
all right, what if I tie the twine around the table?
I tied the twine to the uneven table and took up a hiding spot behind a nearby wall.
Uh-huh.
It was time to wake the dead. Hello? Hello? Why is it so dark in here?
Huh? Who's that?
I'm stuck. Help! Help!
Mallory, if that's you again.
Get me out of this thing!
Oh no, not again.
Not again.
Mister, are you okay? I'm so sorry. I was told... Mister? Oh, God darn it! Next time I see that girl, I'm gonna have a peewee-sized coffin all ready for her. A few hours locked in one of those should adjust her sense of humor.
Okay, so now you put the nails in there. So I'm keeping the twine. I wonder if that means I'll have use of it later.
I picked up the handful of discarded coffin nails from the tin.
I haven't been back to the manor. Right, carriage house. I could maybe cut the rope for some reason. I don't know why. No, can I go in here? Hey. We got the coffin nails. We got the rum. Just says bone fragment. It doesn't say like human bone or anything. So maybe this. Yeah.
I reached up to the cow skull and dislocated its grisly jaw.
I guess that's all we can do in the carriage house.
I wasn't going to touch the molasses with my bare hands. With the items I was borrowing across the island, some may have said I had sticky fingers, but this would have made it a little bit too literal.
Funny. Funny guy. Okay. Oh, what about the carriage wheel?
The wheel was too heavy to move. I went to open the door into Bellemore Manor, but the key was gone.
Ah, come
I
on.
was sure I'd left it in the lock.
Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you keep it with you? Well, okay, so we got a few items here. I wonder, can we put these in the gree-gree?
I placed the coffin nails in the gree-gree. I placed the jawbone into the gree-gree.
Just to free up space.
I poured the rum into the gree-gree.
Oh. Now I have the bottle again. Maybe I can get the molasses in the bottle. Let's check it out.
The molasses was far too thick and gooey to get into the bottle.
Makes sense.
The blast of air may have dislodged some feathers, but there was no chance of them flying out the small opening. I needed to lure the chicken out.
Huh. With what? Chicken likes chicken feed.
I could see the shadows of the rum runners moving around inside the church, but I didn't want to get too close in case they saw me too. Searching the dead man's body was not something I wanted to do.
Do it anyway.
Hello, Edgar.
Yeah.
Do you know there are a couple of gentlemen up by the church?
Rum runners, they are. Dealing with them is not in my job description. As long as they don't mix up the stiffs I'm burying with the stiff drinks they're smuggling, I'm keeping my nose out. Curiosity killed the cat, you know. And I really miss Mittens.
Mittens.
Who is it you're burying?
This is Theodore Grimes. He was the...
Comptroller for Juniper Parish?
That's right. You know him?
We were supposed to have a meeting. Clearly he's going to miss it.
Sure is. Now he's the late Comptroller Grimes.
I best be running along.
Goodbye.
How does that information help me?
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes open.
Yes?
Hi. I've got a story for you. A big one. There are rum runners at the old church.
Keep your voice down, Motormouth. Do you want us to end up in the obituaries?
I thought you wanted a real scoop for the Gazette.
I do.
Not really.
Just not one that gets me on the wrong side of the mob in the process. Pigeon elected mayor. Cow does the high jump. Those are the types of stories that get eyes on the front pages.
Pigeon
I thought
elected
journalists had a
mayor.
duty towards truth, justice, and society.
Where'd you get that poppycock idea? My duty is towards the circulation numbers. And while I'd love a shocker of a story, I'd rather not become the story, if you catch my drift.
I think I better be going.
I've got my eye on you, McCallan.
String?
The cat seemed too entranced by the light to notice me dangling a ball of twine out for it.
I can't think of anything.
I decided I should head back to the riverboat landing and see if I had anything that could get me into the locked shack.
Oh. It got tired of me looking around.
The shack door was too sturdy for me to pry open with the poker, but that still left another way in.
Oh, the window. I can use this.
That didn't work.
Oh.
With a bit of elbow grease, I levered up the window frame. Pressed against the inside wall was a dusty desk covered in spiderwebs, and to top it, one thing lay undisturbed, a small folded document which I picked up, along with an inadvertent 8-legged companion. Ugh!
Ew.
Ghost stories and haunted treasures I could handle, but spiders gave me the creeps.
Nice. I still need a picture, though.
Yes?
Hi. Would you take my photograph?
Do you know how much the chemicals cost to develop those photographs? I'm on a limited budget here, McCallan. Unless you've done something notable, you're not getting into print.
I think I better be going.
I've got my eye on you, McCallan.
If I can fix her printing press. Maybe she wants a brooch.
I thought I'd keep that to myself.
Okay, fine.
I thought I'd leave Edgar alone for... So this was Comptroller Grimes, the man I was supposed to meet for my lodging, stipend, and authority papers. Something told me he didn't have them on him. The jalopy door...
Hold on. The horn. Why'd I do that?
The jalopy door was locked. Of all of the papers pinned to the board, one article stood out to me. It showed the beaming face of a rotund fisherman on the docks with a headline declaring he'd just broken the island's heaviest catch record. Now that I had a fish, the docks seemed like a good place. There was nothing in the fountain except a rim of moss and dirt that made it look like a stained toilet. I thought I'd keep that to myself. Nope. I filled the bottle with water from the fountain.
Why? Why? Why do I need that?
I placed the dime into the gree-gree. That would work as the silver coin.
Okay, so I've got that. I still need the chalk, which is at the billiards club. Black feathers are the chicken coop, and gunpowder is at the fort. But I think I need the fish, the goldfish, to do something with the cat. And I need a picture.
There was nothing else of interest in the shack. With the gator disposed of, I turned my attention to the sack hanging from the crane. There was no apparent way to open it, but by the feel of it, it seemed to be filled with some kind of grain.
Use the knife on it.
I cut into the sack with the knife, revealing it to be full of corn. I took the corn from the sack.
There we go.
I scattered the corn on the path. Mere seconds later, it attracted the attention of the curious chicken.
Hold on. They're black feathers, not white feathers, though. I can put the feathers in the grease, I'll bet, to make them black. Alright, we already know that we can use this on the chicken. I think.
If the chicken didn't want me to touch it, perhaps a blast of air could do the trick.
Stupid chicken. Alright, get those feathers.
Grease-soaked feathers wouldn't have been of any use to me.
Well, why not? I can't. They're not black feathers, so.
The manuscript required black feathers, not white.
Well, what the hell, man?
Hey, you can't come.
Sorry.
Yes?
Hi. What's in those filing cabinets?
Past issues of the paper, going all the way back to 1858. Of course, things were a lot more interesting when Dead Nettle was thriving. People, ships, and cargo coming and going. Lots to report on back then. More than the dregs I have to dress up now.
Why did the ships stop coming to Dead Nettle?
The Bellemore Trading Company was the heartbeat of this island. After the disappearance, there was no one left to run the company, and it all got sold off. When that folded, so did pretty much everything else.
Do you have any back issues featuring the Bellemore Manor wedding?
We don't, I'm afraid. Most of the paper's directors were at the wedding, and disappeared along with everyone else. The newspaper had to close up shop for months while it was restaffed. This was back when the Gazette wasn't run by just one person.
I think I better be going.
I've got my eye on you, McCallan.
I didn't want to get ink all over me trying to carry the canister around.
Why would you get ink all over you? This is a canister of ink?
I decided to leave Ned to his fishing. To make use of that, I needed something to weigh.
Oh.
I hung the fish on the scales.
You caught them pincosa. They're the most delicious fish around here, especially grilled. But you'll never beat Squib's record.
Squib?
Jebediah Squibb, the Cajun catcher he calls himself. Last week at the Dead Nettle Docks, Squibb caught the heaviest pincosa on record. Got his photograph on the front page of the newspaper and everything. Now how am I gonna rest while he brags and boasts about it every single night?
With its innards made of cotton and material scraps, the fish's weight was distinctly unimpressive. I decided to leave Ned to his fishing. With the ripped seam as an opening, I placed the horseshoe inside the taxidermy fish. Now it was heavy. That wasn't going to work.
Mac, does that say what I think it does? You been holding back on me. That breaks Squibb's record.
McCallan! How does it feel to have decimated the town record in your first few hours on the island?
How did you hear about this so fast?
It's my job to know about things fast. Now, I'm asking the questions here. Where'd you get the fish, McCallan?
Well, it was a mighty battle on the southern coast. its fins strong as a motor, its mouth as fierce as a tiger's. I paused dramatically to allow my fishing prowess to wash over them.
What rod did you use?
Wooden one?
I mean, what make?
You know, I didn't use a rod.
You caught the fish without a rod?
It was more one-on-one. Mono, fisho?
You wrestled a fish?
And I won.
Well, as much as it pains me to say it, you're the cover story in the next edition of the Juniper Parish Gazette.
Exciting.
This is why I'm not getting a Pulitzer.
I've got to hand it to you, Mac. That fish is a whopper. I don't know how you got it, but as long as he keeps Squid quiet at the porch party tomorrow, I ain't complaining.
Hook, line, and sinker. Break a record.
I'd had enough of carrying these suspiciously heavy fish around. I decided to leave it there. I decided to leave Ned to it.
Murphy! Have you seen the cover of the evening edition? I think we caught your personality perfectly in that photograph. Naive, simple, unsophisticated. Makes it all the more surprising that you actually accomplished something.
I wonder if I should have it framed.
That'll cost you.
I'd like to buy a newspaper.
Finally, I get something out of you loitering in here. That'll be 1 cent, please.
Bargain.
I picked up the newspaper. The fewer people that saw it, the better.
Huh. Island newcomer breaks fishing record.
The headline read, "Island newcomer breaks fishing record," with my photograph printed in black and white.
Let's see. I can use the scissors on here.
Carefully, I cut my photograph out of the newspaper. It was the photograph of myself I'd cut out of the newspaper. I wish I'd posed better.
Does that work?
I touched the back of the photograph to the molasses.
Okay, now I can use that with this.
Thanks to the stickiness of the molasses, the photograph adhered nicely to the captain's license.
Nice.
It was a riverboat captain's license now adorned with my photograph. My credentials.
What do you got to say now, Buster?
You're telling me you are a captain?
I trust it's all in order.
I thought you said your name was Murphy McCallan.
That's right.
Then why does this say Captain Knott?
It's a pseudonym for marketing purposes.
Pseudonym.
You've got to stand out nowadays. A cool name's a good way to do that. You didn't think Captain Hook was called Hook before the hand incident, did you? What would the odds of that have been?
Look, Sonny, the bylaws of this club only allow the club manager to verify a captain's license. And Mr. Perkins is enjoying his backgammon soiree with Mrs. Perkins and the ladies this evening, with strict instructions not to be disturbed. So I'll accept this for tonight, but try this again tomorrow night and it'll be another story. Now, with that said, a warm and hearty welcome to the Captain's Club. We sincerely hope you make use of and enjoy our facilities, and do please let me know if I can be of any assistance at all. We don't open for another hour, but if you'd like, you can head up now to acquaint yourself.
I had nothing else to say to Felix. While I was trapped on Devil's Rock, a map of the world wasn't going to be much use to me. I picked up the cube of billiard chalk from the edge of the table.
Nice.
It was a small cube of blue billiard chalk. I placed the chalk into the gree-gree.
So I just need the feathers and the gunpowder.
The cabinet was locked. The switch seemed to control the ceiling fans. The door was locked. I considered playing a game, but the lack of balls and cues was going to be a roadblock.
The elevator.
I waited for the doors of the elevator to open, but nothing happened.
If you wish to use the elevator, I'm afraid to tell you it's broken. You'll have to endure the stairs.
Fair enough. Maybe there was a way to distract the Fort de la Moor cat. If only I had something shiny.
Really?
It was the ornate brooch I'd had cleaned at the jeweler's, now glimmering in the light. With the newly polished brooch gleaming, I angled it towards the lantern, catching the light and reflecting a red beam on the wall. I took a handful of the spilled gunpowder. I placed the gunpowder into the gree-gree.
Okay, so I just need the black feathers.
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eye. On the floor was a large canister filled with dark black printer's ink. Around it, the floor was stained with ink splatters.
I'm an idiot.
Delicately, I dipped the feathers into the canister of ink. When they emerged, they were dyed jet black.
There we go. All right, now we
Placed
got
the feathers
everything.
into the gree-gree. I'd done it. All 7 ingredients for the summoning spell. Now I needed to head back to the Spirit Queen.
Oh, she's here again?
I thought I'd find you out here, McCallan.
How did you get out here before me?
Never mind that. This will be the last time, McCallan. I'm not your secretary. I don't know what you're up to out here, but I'll figure it out soon enough. But for now, let's hurry it up. These shoes are alligator skin, and I don't want the local fauna recognizing an old friend. Another telegram came through for you, marked urgent. Kip said you might be out here.
My boss again?
Got it in one.
McCallan, report back immediately. Received word Grimes is deceased.
Yeah.
Lack of resources has made this a waste of time. And I've cottoned onto your little stunt with the Friday signatures. When you get back here, sorting mail is gonna be the least of your worries. Sid Sinclair Auditing Company.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. On a night when I'd just seen a ghost, this telegram was almost more unbelievable. There was more to the Bellemore story than I could have ever imagined. Now I was being pulled away to a job I didn't want to work, and a life I didn't want to live. Maybe it was time to do something a little foolish. Do I still have that prepaid reply?
Sure do. What do you want it to say?
Get bent.
Tell him I quit. I couldn't believe what I'd done. I'd quit my job and opened the first chapter in my own adventure. But without a job, I didn't have a salary. Without a salary, I wouldn't have a place to live.
Well,
It suddenly became more important than ever that I find that treasure.
exactly.
For me this time.
Murphy, have you found all 7
Murphy.
ingredients?
I have.
Wonderful! Now it is time for the final step. Out of the darkness, the sadness, the fear, I command you, my servant, now to appear.
I have returned, Master. What is your desire?
The ingredients have been gathered. The final step of the spell is ready. The focus.
The focus of the spell is whatever you are casting it upon. Bellemore Manor is where the ghosts reside. An image of Bellemore Manor is what you must use to direct the spell.
Murphy, do you have an image of Bellemore Manor we can use?
Maybe. I guess I can just...
Yes, Murphy, that will work. Place it inside the gree-gree as the final ingredient.
I folded the magazine cover and placed it inside the gree-gree.
The spell is ready. Finally, the ghosts will be free again. Open the gree-gree, Murphy, and that will cast the spell.
With some trepidation, I took the gree-gree from my pocket and with a deep breath, opened it.
At last, I am free.
Servant, what's happening?
Uh-oh.
I was never your servant.
I am your master. You shall do my bidding. I command you.
Foolish mortal. You
They
have
said the
served
thing.
your purpose. No longer do I need to manifest as an ephemeral specter. Now my true spirit form is freed.
Loa, do as I say.
You are of no more use to me.
Huh. Oh. Did he kill him?
I wasn't sure what I'd just seen, but the voodoo fire raging all around me was all too real. I needed to get out, and fast. Gazing into the spirit pool, I thought I could see formless faces gazing back at me.
Can I pour the water on the voodoo flame? Green flame! Can't believe that shit worked. Can I go? Oh. Who dis now? Hey, spooky girl. Oh, there's no need for that. What is happening? I wasted my water. All right, that was it for part 1. That was fun. I really do admire the effort they put into this game. Good voice acting, cool art, and some, the puzzles are manageable, I feel like. Some were a little hard to figure out. You kind of have just to keep going back and looking at things and talking to people in case there's something else to say, something else to uncover. Anyway, again, that was part 1, and next time we will continue on with part 2. Bye.